other things that I see on the box. I don't know if that's possible, but I think it is. Let's take this off his arm and let's put it on his back. Can you? Oh, will you? Oh, oh, oh. What's up, Toy Fam, and welcome back to your Toytally Cool channel. I'm Big Joe, and we have a very special character for you today. You know, for Transformers Tuesdays, it's always been great for us to dig deep into the Transformers universe. And today, we're gonna talk about a character who's not just a soldier, who's not just a soldier, who's not a warrior. He's actually a hunter, and he hunts his own kind. One of the most fascinating characters in the Transformers universe is Tarn. And this is from the comic universe. And I say that because he never showed up in the cartoons. Or I may be wrong. So let's take a deep dive into the comic universe Tarn and see what makes him a very interesting character and a wonderful toy. So this is Big Joe taking you back to Cybertron on another episode of Superhero Saturday. Oh no!
You serious?
Here on your Toytally Cool channel. Okay. Before we unbox this baby, who is Tarn? Like I said, he did not show up in the cartoons. He did show up in the IDW comics, okay? And what makes him so interesting is that when other Decepticons are so interested in wrestling power, like Starscream, or others who have their own agenda, Tarn is the exact opposite. He is like Soundwave in his loyalty for Megatron, but he is like Starscream in his viciousness and ferocity. He is a member of the Decepticon Justice Division, and he hunts down anybody who goes against the Decepticons, who he thinks are deserters, who he thinks are betrayers or traitors to the cause of the Decepticons and the Transformers in general. So that's what makes him a very interesting. Let's look at the toy. And if you look at the box, it's an open windowed box. It shows you who the character is. It even shows you the face. And don't you find it interesting that Tarn's face looks exactly like the logo or the insignia of the Decepticons? That's how loyal he is. Because before he became a Decepticon, he was a random Cybertronian, and then he suddenly met Megatron and believed in what he believed in and about wrestling power and putting order through tyranny and through their own brand of justice. So looking at the box again and looking at Tarn inside, it's very interesting. I would love to get him out. Let's look at the right side. And you see Tarn in an action pose. You see Transformers Legacy United. It's Legacy United because of all the others, like this one, all of the others that do not fall into the G1. And then you have the robot. I mean, this is the alternate mode. Okay, on the left side you see the Legacy United diorama, and on the back you have 27 ways, 27 steps to transform Tarn from the menacing mechanical monster that he is to a tank. Looks like a 4 cannon tank. Wow. You thought a tank with 1 cannon was strong enough and powerful enough. This one's got 4. So let's take him out of the box. As usual, take your cutters and be very careful. Okay, one more tape. And this is always one of those bittersweet moments when you're freeing up a toy from its plastic prison, in this case cardboard, but you're actually getting a chance to get them in your hands. Okay. What do we have here? Tarn. So if Tarn is his first name, or is it his last name? So if Tarn is his last name, so his mother is also Tarn. Don't say that in Tagalog, because that's not good. Okay. Okay. Now what do we have here aside from dust? That's one of the sad parts of having a box that's open, because you gather dust even though it's still inside the box. But it's still perfectly brand new. You have the figure, you have the weapons, and you have a beautifully crafted box case. So let's get him out and see what else he has to offer. Okay. So sad, so sad. Why am I doing this? Well, there's always that big controversy between toy collectors, amongst toy collectors, about some who like to keep it in the box. I do. And some who like to just open them and throw away the box, while some like to open them and put them back in the box. To each his own. I don't really have an issue with anybody doing what they want, but for me, I like to do a little bit of both. Okay, so that, okay, well, no, okay, he doesn't want to come out. He doesn't. Or do you? Or do you? Wait, is there? No, it's all free. There we go. So that's why. Oh, there's one more. There is one more. I would recommend scissors for this next time. I would recommend. Oh, wow, wow. Okay. Okay. Let's take these out and clean this up. When I was a kid, my mom always told me, clean out your toys, clean out the box. She didn't sound like that. Sorry, Mom. But before that, it's got a manual. It's got a manual. It's got a manual. Not a manual, a manual. Okay? 27 steps from robot to tank. So this one I took out from the back because it was blocking the box, but you just easily put that in. Stick that in. Or did I just break it? No, I didn't. There you go. It goes in so easily that the plastic is not that hard, so you can kind of pull it over. You can pull it and not worry about it breaking. Okay. Wow. I never encountered Tarn personally, but I kind of love the way he looks. Love the way he looks. So let's do our first impression. You see a lot of treads because he's a tank. I think these are the arms that turn into treads. And then you've got the front menacing look, the face. It's got a lot of translucent purple. I'm thinking if we turn off the lights and we put a flashlight to the back, that purple is just gonna glow. I'm not sure. Let's take a picture of that later. I don't want to mess with this review for now, but that looks like an interesting prospect. Okay, it's got a lot of gray, a lot of black, a lot of purple, which is very Decepticon-ish. And then you've got these gold accents. These gold accents that are just fascinating. It breaks the whole, I wouldn't say boring, because ube is never boring. Okay, ube is never boring. But, you know, a little color wouldn't hurt, right? Yeah, that's what it reminds me of. Ube ice cream. Why do you think of ice cream? Anyway, okay. So let's look at the 360. It's got a very sturdy look. Look at the back. It doesn't have a lot of the hollow back in the other figures or in the other Transformers that we've unboxed. Left is pretty much just like the right. And then let's go back to the front. I love that gold Decepticon logo in the middle of his chest. It really says that, hey, I'm a loyal Decepticon and I stand for whatever we stand for. Too bad they don't stand for what the Autobots do. But yeah, that's a very interesting. This is a very, very interesting figure. And then you've got these cannons. I think these are the plasma cannons. They look alike. And let's see what can you? Will you? Do you? Because I see in the box that you could put them together. Oh yeah, you can. You can. So it sticks right in, or let's do the other way around. It can do both ways. That didn't sound good. It can do both ways, yeah. All right. So you got a huge cannon, which can be split into two big cannons. And they're not the same, okay? They're not the same. They have different textures, they have different looks, they have different plastic moldings. Perfect, perfect. I think these are the top cannons, and am I correct in assuming that if you put this, you use this, and you put them together, it makes for one double-barreled cannon. Wow, that's a nice touch. That's a nice touch. And then, if you are a crazy person, just put it on his arm, and he is even more menacing than Megatron. Megatron's only got one gun on his arm. This guy's got two. Double the trouble. Double the trouble. Okay, there are other things that I see on the box. I don't know if that's possible, but I think it is. Let's take this off his arm, and let's put it on his back. Can you? Oh, will you? Oh, oh, oh. Now I know why he's a hunter. He's got all the skills. He's got all the thrills. He's got all the frills of a hunter. He's got everything you need in a guy who's hunting you down, or who you're gonna task to hunt down these enemies of yours. Fascinating. Very fascinating. All right, let's do the transformation. Okay, so you've seen how we transformed him. He's not that complicated. He's 27 steps into transforming into a robot, into the tank, and a few other steps to turn him back into the robot. Not that complicated, that's why he's for ages 8 and above. But really, really good action figure. Now let's do a toy review. Okay. First impression, love the colors. Love the metal on purple, on translucent purple, on gray with a little touch of gold. He just looks amazing. And he's also a very, very interesting character if you're into the comics of the Transformers. So you may not be a big fan of the animation, you're a big fan of the comic, but he's a character that you would add to your collection. Now, if you're into the movies and into the cartoons, this is a good way to introduce yourself into the comics. He's a nice character to make you more interested in the comics. So goes well for everybody. Goes well all around. Okay, value for money. Value for money or price point. I'd say this is one of the more practical Decepticons and Transformers. In fact, I think for the price that I got him for, it's a steal. It's not that much. It's really worth it. I would have paid more. I rarely say that. I would have paid more. Okay. Shelf appeal. Shelf appeal. Look at that. Besides Megatron and Starscream, no Decepticon has a more iconic, more commanding presence on your shelf than Tarn. Besides, you can never deny that Decepticon logo on his face is just what you need in your collection. Right. Playability, you've seen how he transformed him. You've seen how he looks just standing up. You've seen how menacing he is in alternate mode. Come on, guys. Playability, he can be pound for pound a match for 2 Autobots, at least 2 Autobots, and maybe even a combiner. So you get tons of playtime. Really, really fun. So let's go back. Let's go and do a final toy review. Let's see how he measures up on the Toytally Cool meter. Is he not cool? I dare you. Or is he just cool? Or is he totally cool? Let me know what you think. Before you tell me what you think, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and hit that bell button. Follow us on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, and YouTube. Of course, YouTube. So, tell me what you think. Is he not cool? Is he just cool? He's totally cool. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think he's totally cool. For a guy who didn't follow the comics, I would love to get my hands on some Tarn characters or Tarn comic or some comic books with Tarn in them. So that wraps up our toy review for today, and I hope you were able to find something of value on this episode. Me, I love the fact that I was able to open this toy and get my hands on it. That in itself is worth the price of opening him up. So that ends this episode, and hope to see you on the next one. Remember, we have Transformers Tuesdays, we have Superhero Saturdays, we have Throwback Thursdays, and we're adding a new thing. Not every week, but at least a month. We're doing Star Wars Sundays on every select Sunday of the month. We're going to be featuring a lot of toys, so stay tuned. Watch out for more toy unboxing. And this is Big Joe telling you, toys are not just cool, they're totally cool. So happy collecting. Bye-bye. Pew pew. Pew pew. Pew pew pew. I am Tarn. Is that his voice?